Hello, everybody. It's showtime, but where's my bell? I will be right back. Ding a ling a ling. How can the GQUAT family tradition bus take off without the bell? Without the bell. But I just got the notification, so I think you guys will be coming in. Open. Put 50,000 codes in. And you guys can probably see me, but I can't see you. Mr. Hershey probably thinks I'm talking to myself. Garden Quilting Art Traditions. Okay. I think we're live. We'll find out the comments. There's everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So let me see. Oh, I keep trying to go up. Maria Graham, Psalm 146, Sissy Joanne Stevens. You're loud and clear on my end, Auntie Ellen. Boy, you know the devil's always busy though. My computer has never totally discharged since I got it, like about 5 years ago when I moved in here, and I had it plugged in, topping it off so that I could get ready for the live. Then at 5 p.m., I said, hello, Kay. Oh, Kay Renee, hello. At 5 o'clock, I usually put the computer over here, and I picked it up, and it was red, fully discharged, fully discharged. So I may have to plug it in when we go over by the crafted art area. But how's everybody doing today? It actually cooled off a little bit here in Connecticut today. I'm going to try to see if I can pull up the chat on my phone so that I can see it. Thank you all for coming. I know that others are live right now, and I can't pull it up on my cell phone for some reason. But it's okay. It's okay. Maria Graham's having a good day. Psalm 146. Oh, nice top, Penny. Thank you. I decided to do like Miss Shirley, the OG gardener, and when she had her pajama party, and I'm like, I have so many of these caftans for walking around. I just haven't worn them lately, so I started getting them out. I take them when I travel. I take them when I travel. So I am so excited. I'm always excited when I see you guys. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything, you know. And when I come on Thursdays and on Saturdays, that's when I do take time out. Hello, G Mama Grows. Thank you for coming and welcome. That's when I take time out to like be with family and friends. And I feel like you guys really are family. We have a close group. I'm not trying to grow a big giant channel. I like being a small, intimate group. And this today I was going to make a what do you call it? An ironing board, an ironing pad. Hello, Tori's brain. Thank you for coming. You had me about to fall out of my bed last night when I was watching the rerun of the brain games. You guys were cutting up, cutting up. So today, what we're going to do, when we ended up Thursday, we were talking about fabrics, and I had a little actually it's not a little basket, it's a huge basket, and it had all my best fabrics in it. all my best special fabrics that are only for special occasions for my art quilts. So when we finished the other day, I went through them because we were working on something called functional art. What is functional art? It's things that are artistic that you can use, that you can wear, that you can do things with, like the postcards, like maybe something clothing that's a little fancier than usual. Then I was going through the basket of fabrics because we're going to make a crazy quilt. I will explain to you what a crazy quilt is. It's not for crazy people, no, but maybe it helps. But I found this. This is an example of functional art. And what it is, ta-da! I think this is the top. No, that looks like the beach, the sand. The blue would be the sky. This is a pillowcase made out of some of that designer fabric. And this is how you would put an accent pillow in, like on your sofa. And it has a zipper, a hideaway zipper inside, which is how you get the pillow inside there. Hello, Auntie Bev Jones, Cece's Texas Garden. Oh, that's a beautiful pillowcase, Auntie Bev. Thank you. So it's supposed to be like a landscape, and I had stopped with the fabrics, but then I found the piece of fabric that it was cut out of. Bad body, not so fit. Your day's going well. Well, you're probably tired. I've been watching you squatting in the gym. I've been watching you benching. I was tired watching you. But to show you guys, actually, this is a different piece, but it was something like this. And I cut a piece out. Maybe it did come from this piece. But hi, Martika. How are you doing today? Hope you're feeling well. But we talk about arts and crafts and the difference between art and a craft. Art is just an elevated craft. It's just something that you put your heart into, put a little bit more in. And I why is this up there looking like this? Because I wanted to show you something. All of these books are mostly art books, craft books, things with quilting. All I don't know if you can see from there down are purple totes, things with bits of fabric. You don't have to have a lot of fabric to make something beautiful, to make something beautiful. But I knew that I had a book about crazy quilts, and this is a book, and I wanted to show you some of the other things. I also wanted to show you this quilt that I had up here. It's a memory quilt with my maternal grandfather's shirt when he passed. My mother only had one thing that belonged to him, and that was a flannel shirt that he used when he went to work. He Bad Body said he was worrying about the books. I had a lot more books. These are just like my favorite books, my favorite fabrics. When I downsized to this apartment, it's a senior handicap apartment, I only kept my favorite things. And it was time to, like, I remember one time when I was younger, I used to think that whoever had the most toys won the game. I collected cars, I collected dogs, I collected chickens, I collected goats, houses, stuff. A little fabric can make a big craft. So when I downsized, I got rid of most of my books. I keep a couple books like managerial consulting books, things about running a business, because sometimes I do I do a little bit of consulting, or for family and friends that talk to me about things that they know I have a training background. But I wanted you to see the back of Grandpa Charlie's quilt because I made the back scrappy. My mother, this one shirt, I took it and I fussy cut it. It was flannel. You know how a flannel shirt has all those squares? I took a pair of scissors and I hand cut all of the squares out. Then, because people back in the day didn't have a lot of money, I wanted the quilt to look authentic. So I wanted you to see, I don't know if you could see the top. No, you can't. The top way up there is tan. Then there's another fabric. And I selected fabrics to go in this quilt that look like the vintage calicos that they used back in the day. And this is the machine quilting pattern that's on the front. This quilt didn't get the, never got the a label on it yet. That's why it's out here. So out of this is this and those two blocks up there are the three blocks of my grandpa's shirt. Then I went and found other fabrics that mixed and matched and looked vintage. So that's the story. But I wanted to tell you that, like, if you want to make a memory quilt or you have something of a parent, a grandparent, I saw Unbiased LLC making the little memory bears. We used to make the memory bears in my quilt guild out of the uniform of fallen soldiers. It's Arab, a quilting rock star. I just love it. I love it. And I love fabric and materials. And I want to show you something that's so touching. So this basket that was hand woven in South Africa and gifted to me was apparently for my birthday in 2018. My daughter and I were invited to a friend of hers house who is an international chef and a sweater designer, and he collected fabrics. He's a native of South Africa, and he gifted me portions of some of the fabrics that I showed you Thursday, and then I ran out of time and I got a few more. But when I got to the bottom of the basket, and this is what I tell you about teaching your children. My children are older than some of you guys in here. My children, well, one of them, my daughter is a grandmother, my son is a father, and I saw the most touching thing at the bottom of this basket. I guess I put it there to celebrate. Actually, it says 2016. And if you guys would like, I would love to share this with you. I bring it every day. I have three great grandchildren. So the almost 20-year-old must have been 12, about to 13, to be 13. And these are the cards that they made. Cam is 15. So he must have been about 6 or 7. He was just learning how to write, and he didn't want to make a card because he says, Nana, my writing is sloppy. This is so special to me. The guy is like 6'2" now and a basketball player, but it says, Happy birthday, Nana. I hope you enjoy your 68th birthday. I'll be 75 in November, you guys. And he drew some balloons on here. And then he'd play like Hangman. We play a lot of word games, Tori. We play a lot of word games. We play Connect Four. In fact, there's a board Connect Four over here somewhere. Those kids tear my butt up. They tear Nana up playing games. But I want to, so that was Cameron's card. I have three not great grand, no, I have a great great grandson and three great grandchildren. Then the middle one made a card. It says happy birthday. And it says, And that was the thing. We insisted that the kids hand make cards. I was so surprised when I went in the bottom of this basket after the live Thursday. I almost cried. I'm like, I'm getting sentimental in my old age. It said, let's think, Nana. You are creative. Yep, that strong, beautiful. I don't know about that part. Smart, positive, hilarious. You guys tell me I'm hilarious. My twin, wonderful. Then she has all these hearts. And then she says, Nana, even though we have our ups and downs, I still love you and I always will. Happy birthday, Nana. Love, Sydney. Isn't that sweet? Then I have a card from the one who must have been 12. And it says, Happy birthday, Nana. I love you so much. And today's finally your special day. You mean a lot to me. And I look up to you. Ha. You have been through a lot, but you still manage to wake up and put a smile on your face every day. You are strong, beautiful, independent, and smart, and you have come a long way. I appreciate you staying positive and supporting me and hyping me up before my softball and field hockey games. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I love you lots, Simone. Simone is an awesome softball player. They call her the home run queen. When she would go up to bat, the other team would start backing up because they know she's going to hit the ball over the fence. Yeah, that little slugger, that girl there. So, what is a crazy quilt? A crazy quilt is a kind of quilt that was made back in the 1800s. Blessed family, I am blessed. I am blessed. And those of you who know that I woke up from a coma 8 years ago, I moved back into the family home with my mom and my granddaughter and her three kids. Those are the ones who wrote the cards. And they used to bring my dinner up. I couldn't go up and down the steps. You know, if I did, it would be like once a day. And they would come up, then a half hour later, they would come get my meals. We would have Super Bowl parties on my bed on one of my quilts and order pizzas and have tailgate parties. It was so much fun. So much fun. They speak from the heart to leave that memoir. I have a box where I keep old cards. I keep the things you guys send me too. I hope there'll be some postcards soon. So, crazy quilting is part of what the postcards were. It's a kind of taking all kinds of bits of fabric. That's why I showed you the basket. And thank you for posting the Cash App, G Mama Grows. And what I want to show you is that a lot of these things are hand embroidered, but it's just a quilt with all kinds of colors, things. And I wanted to show you some of the things that are in here. And like this is a quilt, and it's made out of a little teddy bear, just a teddy bear. I just want to take a few minutes to show you um, what the basics of crazy quilting are, because a lot of you have bits of old clothes, pieces of your kids' clothing. You see these old sewing machines. You know, I used to collect old sewing machines. Most of my sewing machines I have now are old. Well, I have five left, but two are new, and they do different things. They do like embroidery, stitching. This one, this little black one is like my little black featherweight, and I have a blue featherweight like that. But the featherweights don't take a lot of electricity. For those of you who travel, live in RVs, you you don't need a lot of electricity, and you can take the electricity part off and the belt and put a hand crank and go to the park and just crank it. You don't need any electricity at all. You Oh, Auntie Bev says that she's publicly thanking me for some new quilting blocks. I had some blocks that I started like 10 years ago with some of this old vintage fabric, and I started making them into strips and blocks, but it's like I only have two hands left. I'm almost 75, I only want to do the things that I love, love, love the most. Not that I didn't love those, but I had baskets of things, bits of fabric. I love African fabrics and batiks. I love Aborigine Australian fabrics. So these are some of the ways you set up your workspace, you set up a quilt, your quilting things. I'm going to show you because we're going to start a crazy quilt today. And most quilts are made of cotton today because they're durable. But now for a crazy quilt, they had satin. The little pink quilt that I had up here before, that was a crazy quilt. You put fans in it, you put feathers on them. This is a vintage crazy quilt. It's art that goes on a wall. It's not the type of quilt that you would use or put on your lap. I have to tell you a funny story. So, when my dad was living, we took him. Hello, Barb Brownlee. Thank you for coming and welcome everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate you, those in the bushes. Just hit the thumbs up button, please. I appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate the members to my new membership club. It's $1.99 to start, and it will help me grow the channel and get some things to become more technical, more sufficient. And the going back to the crazy quilts, there's something about spiders. I don't know what it is, but almost every crazy quilt has a spider in it. I don't know if this one will have a spider. Auntie Ellen and ain't all that crazy about spiders, but I love dragonflies. I'll put a dragonfly on it. And they talk about different ways of making crazy quilts. I don't know if you can see the pot holder. I'm showing this to show you that we were making the postcards. You can make the crazy quilt postcards. This is some of the same techniques that I was showing you in the postcards are some of the same ones that we use in the crazy quilt. And instead of a lot of hand stitching, a lot of sewing machines now do that. That's that one machine that's over there that's new. That's the only reason I have that thing. Every time I try to show you guys on it, it tries to start working every week and have some type of a strike. Also, like fans, like grandmother's fan is a type of a quilt block. So you see a fan up there. I'll probably put a fan in the corner of this one, and lots of thread, lots of embroidery. For those of you who are making postcards, I want you to see here's another quilt where they have a fan up in the corner. So I'm going to show you the fabrics that I'm going to put into the crazy quilt that I'm making today, that I'm going to start working on. And this is kind of a spider web where, hi, Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick, where there's a spider web in the corner. I don't know. I might hand embroider something. I will see, because this will be a little show quilt when I'm called on to exhibit things, when they have like a call for artists and I show my quilts. You guys have seen more of my quilts than anybody. I took them out. Even my sister Joanne hasn't seen all the quilts. I have forgotten. Your icon shows the large monarch butterfly that was on your zinnias this week. Oh, nice. The New Orleans gardener likes monarch butterflies. I planted a lot of zinnias in Arizona last year when I was there. I'll be spending a month in Arizona this year for my big 75th birthday. So, no doubt I will be doing my spring planting out there. And the quilt that I'm going to start today is going to be maybe 16, 18 inches wide, 20 to 22 inches long. For those of you who asked me to make a crazy quilt. And this is a little template that I had. I talked about a dragonfly. So I will fussy cut, trace the dragonfly onto some fabric. There's a little heart. You know, a heart, it's three heart, purple hearts are part of my signature. Supporting Quilts of Valor. Yes, Quilts of Valor. I make quilts. I donate cash. I donate blocks. And for my birthday last year on Facebook, I asked people to give to Quilts of Valor rather than uh, anything for me. So these are some of the. Hello, Eritabe Gardens. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I also support breast cancer. Some of the quilts that go there. I make knitted caps for the NICU units and the neonatal intensive care unit. So, a funny story about my dad. We took Daddy to the doctor one time. My sister Joanne Stevens was here in Connecticut, and we took him to the doctor, and I made the cutest. It wasn't cute. It was masculine. It was blue and had other colors in it, a lap quilt, because he was always cold. Well, he went into the doctor's office and he snatched that quilt off of his lap and threw it up in the air, went on the floor. I wasn't there. Auntie Joanne and my mom were there. He said, "Got this quilt on me like I'm a girl. I'm not wearing this quilt." And he would not use that quilt ever again in his wheelchair. Remember that quilt? So then I had that quilt and I was volunteering at a place here in New Haven at the Community Action Agency. And there happened to be two employees there who had metastasized breast cancer. And oh, thank you for pronouncing my name right. Thank you, sir. I watch your videos and I heard you say your name, Barb Brownlee, and I tried to pronounce it. So this dragonfly is going in. Now, what fabrics are we going to be using? Maybe YouTube will let me see the chat now. Just a minute, you guys, because I want to see what you guys are doing in the background. Sometimes you all are being so bad in the back. And yep, here we go. And I miss all. Auntie Joanne was telling me I put that little frog on something last week, and I thought that was the last of that ugly frog fabric. Nope, she said I left a yard of it out in Arizona and some more. So I will be probably, no doubt, cutting that up. What I want to show you are some, these are called jelly rolls. A jelly roll is a pack of fabrics that are cut 2.5 inches wide, and they're usually like 40, 42 of them. I never could find the jelly roll fabrics and the colors that I like. These are fabulous fabrics. I've cut them some time ago, and I bought a lot of neutral fabrics, a large selection of them, and they're scrappy, and to make use in my own quilts. So now that I'm getting ready to start this crazy quilt, I will be using these, and I want to show you some of the fabrics. I bought like maybe a quarter yard of different ones, like, and they're like kind of gold. I like gold accents, neutrals. This is kind of a silvery color, just nice neutrals. I just want to show you some of the neutrals that you can put in, and that's what makes it look scrappy. So this quilt is going to have a lot of neutral fabrics. So they're about 8 to 10. different fabrics that I use to make my own jelly roll and to put in my quilt. Why am I saying that? Because I prep my quilting, my cards. I very seldom start from the beginning. It's like cooking a Thanksgiving dinner or something like that. You can't cook it all in one day. You have to do it. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. So, who wants to see the fabrics first audition to, and please give the thumbs up, everybody. I don't know what it does to the algorithm, but I will be, uh, my videos will be showed to more people. So at the end of the Thursday live, I showed this piece of fabric. I have since I have since put some stabilizer on the back because it's on pure linen, and the linen is very soft. That will keep it. I've ironed everything as well. I always iron my fabrics before I use them. This is really pretty, like copper and silver and rust, and almost like a coffee cafe color. It's showing up shaded so it looks darker. So this will be the centerpiece in the um, in the crazy quilt, and I'll show you how I will cut it in a minute. Then I have a couple of fabrics that you didn't see on Thursday. These were part of the collection of fabrics my daughter gave me for my birthday, and these two are pretty much alike. These were actually hand embroidered. This was hand embroidered, I think, in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. They're like French knots and other things. This is actually, I'm going to show it real close or not. Those are beads on there, you guys. Those are hand beaded. Hand beaded. And then some type of wool. So this is like a kind of metallic fabric. It's like hand these are all handmade fabrics, you guys. So that's why they were in the basket, because this is a special basket, and this is a strip of that fabric, like the first pillow that I showed you. And what I'm going to do with this, there are some parts of it that look kind of like gold, some that look kind of silver. I'm going to make the dragonflies out of this. I'm going to make the dragonflies out of this. And you know how they say that the eyes are, it is metallic, Nikki. And like the other fabrics, I've put some stabilizer on the back. I'm going to add the heat and bond light on this as well. On this as well. I didn't do it yet because I didn't know what part I was going to use. And this is a fabric I bought. I made my daughter a quilt with all African fabrics. It's a fancy dragonflies. And the entire back of her quilt was made of this fabric. I stripped it together, but I saved some of it. And they say the eyes are the windows of the soul. So I will be putting a couple of these orange things on to make it look like eyes. And remember, I told you about feathers having special significance in other cultures, in Native American culture. Here are a couple of feathers on here as well. So I will put stabilizer on these as I need it. Those dragonflies are going to shimmer, yes. And then, just so that you can see my color path, this is some hand dyed, kind of a mustardy color. And then I showed you the shui shui, the special woven fabric from South Africa, and how you can tell if it's authentic shui shui. You have to have a license. It says South Africa on here, and it was stamped, and only the government, the Dutch government of South Africa, could issue stamps like on the meats. So that's how you know that you have, hey, Diversity Love. Thank you for coming and welcome. I appreciate each and every one of you. And Diversity Love, I thought about it after the live. I forgot to tell you, if you email me at Ellen Pankey at gmail.com, maybe I could put the banner at ellenpankey.com. I have a you said that you wanted to buy some African fabrics in bulk. I have a couple of other places that I used to buy African fabrics in bulk. I don't buy anything in bulk anymore. I am on a fixed budget, and I'm trying to not let things fall in my cart. And I only buy things like if it's something special for a project. And okay, I showed you this. This is the second piece of shui shui. So we're going to go over to the machine area, and I'll show you how I now how do I stop it? Banners. I'll click on it. Okay, so getting better, getting better. And then this is the last piece of hand. You can see like where it was like twisted and dipped, almost like tie dyed, but dipped in some special dye and imported. So I don't have a lot of fabrics. You love seeing the beautiful pieces and the stories. These are like my babies, and like instead of buying me gifts or giving me money for birthdays, because what am I going to spend it on? Probably more fabric, but these are special fabrics. Some of these fabrics were hand carried by different family members when they travel. So we're going over to the machine, and I just wanted to show you that this is sort of art. It's functional art. This is the postcard that I was working on Thursday. For those of you who were not here, it's a fabric postcard. I'm going to put it in the mail, but I have to. Is Mike Chaotic Gardening in here? Oh, Mike, you are here. Look, Michael, you wanted a mini quilt. You requested a mini quilt, and you've done so many things to me. You've been so kind. So I decided that this one will be yours because I love you, love you, love you. I love all of you guys. And that little frog, I don't know. Maybe you kiss him, he turns into a handsome prince. I don't know. You don't show your face. So I made you a frog and a sunflower. Psalm 146 likes sunflowers. And you've got some caviar here, some whipped cream. Uh-oh, I don't know what you're going to do with that. My name is Bennett. This is a family show. Fish oil, herb oil, a bird, some flowers. So this is you, Mike. I put your name on it. But I want you to put in the chat. The only reason I'm showing it to you, not to ruin the surprise, the secret. Tell me if you want me to actually have it hand stamped and make it out to you, or if you want me to send it blank so that you can keep it. Please let me know whether to mail it and put it in a plastic sleeve so that you can save it, or if um, you want it like a real postcard and you keep it that way. So please let me know, Mike, which one, how you want me to send it. In another envelope, or you want it hand stamped with the date. I like having the dates on things like the cards that the kids send me because I forget they have them. Then years later, you look at them and boom, there it is. And so I'll put that in the mail to you this week. I have some other things going out. For those of you who are new or in the bushes, I try to make little handmade things. This was a little piece of fabric that was left over from something I did. I made a bookmark to give to somebody, maybe somebody in the building. I like real books, and I never bend the pages down or beat them up. I like to respect my books. I love touching them. I love the pages. This was the first postcard I showed how to make. You can make it simple with one piece of fabric. You can make it by hand on the front and the back. Functional art. And then you people have something a part of you. This was one that was made totally by hand. For those of you who don't have sewing machines, don't want to sew with a machine yet, diversity love, talking at you, talking at you, and you sign your name. I have labels, but you can sign your name on your postcard that you make for others. And I have a challenge for you guys. Whoever makes fiber a fiber postcard and mails it to me, I will, and I want it stamped. I want it to send through the real mail. Except I'm going to do something else to this one. I'm going to put a button right here where this little thing is. I had something very touching happen. I teach volunteer arts and crafts, and a lady came to my arts and craft class last year, and she lives in my building. She's a writer, and she was very sad. Her mother passed, and she was just sitting there, and she says, "Ellen, I have something for you, and I don't know who to give it to. I'll show you because I have it over there." What she had was a little container. You know how your mom used to save all the extra buttons, or if you threw old clothes away, she would take the buttons off and save it. She had this little container with her mother's buttons in it, and it had a little piece of lace. It had a little pair of hand scissors and her mother's thimble. And of all the people in the world that she knows, she thought that I would respect it and love it. Oh, that was so touching. So I'm going to take one of those buttons and put it on here. And I just started back sewing again just in the last year. I had a hip and a knee replacement, my right hip and my right knee, and I couldn't drive or sew for a while. So I'm just getting my sea legs back, and I can do it. So I'm going to make her a postcard, and I'm going to decorate it with some of the buttons from her mother, from her mother. And the last postcard, this is something like the crazy art quilting where you flip and sew. This was Chinese pagoda. I had some really nice Asian fabric, and these were just scraps that I had left. So I put it in the middle, put some black, then I had some purple fabric. You know who loves purple? Auntie Ellen, and gold. And so this postcard, I don't know, whoever is going to send me cards, I'm going to be sending cards back. So let's go over to the sewing machine and start on this crazy quilt. I am excited and excited to show you guys how to make one yourself. And it'll be like a portrait or something like that. It's going to be really nice when it's finished. So I will put the fabric over here. And excuse my arm. I'm moving things one at a time so I don't knock everything over. I can be such a klutz. And I'm trying to see. Do you see some of the carvings up there, the hand carvings? I collect stuff. I just have a few of my favorite things. Okay. So now, how would you set up an art quilt? And you can use any type of fabrics. You can make, oh, you guys, here is the container that my neighbor gifted me with from her mom. And there was this cute little piece of lace in there. This I'm going to put in this crazy quilt. And then you know how you get like an expensive dress, a fancy dress or something, and they put extra when you buy the good clothes, they put your extra buttons in. So there are some buttons in here that are in the plastic pack. There are some she must have bought for a replacement. And then I love looking at jars. Joanne Stevens has a collection of buttons that she found. Oh look, here's her mother's thimble. Here's her mom's thimble. A bobbin. But look at some of these buttons. So some of these are going to go in this crazy quilt. Look at this one. It almost looks like it's not ivory or anything, but just look at that. These are some really nice buttons. So I'm going to put them in this crazy quilt because you put beads and buttons and things like that. What a cute thing to collect buttons. Yes. You got dust in your eye. Oh, you crying, Mike. Oh, isn't that touching? Or you really got dust in your eye. It's been very, very dusty out. Special fabric. So, some of the buttons, like off a coat. Oh, look at this one. Wow, you guys. I'll show you what I'm looking at, why I'm saying wow. This is a leather button. I haven't seen one of those in years. In years. Okay, so now we are going to set up how you make a crazy quilt. Okay, so I'm going to put these away and put this cute little piece of lace. Some of the crochet that I had on my other crazy quilt was from my grandmother's little bits and pieces. I have a full size industrial machine here. I'll have to show it to you guys one day. It's in the corner. Her name is Roxy. All of my machines have names in it, except maybe this one. It's a brother machine that I bought just because it has decorative stitches. And Mike said the story was touching. Thank you. Thank you. Blame the squirrels. So, what I'm going to do is start in the middle so that you guys can see. Oh, for those of you who are going to make the fabric postcards, write this down, please. Hashtag fabric postcards 2023 so that we can all see the postcards. Maria Graham has one in the mail now. So she knows she's guaranteed to get one of the first ones. Yankee Sister Homestead. Hello. Thank you for coming and welcome. By the way, Kay Renee, I've been watching you on your Peloton. My daughter has one. I think you were riding in the Alps one day. Now you're riding somewhere green, and I think you have a couple more days left that you'll be filming it. Hola, Yankee Sister Homestead. You guys, Yankee Sister Homestead is a neighbor in Connecticut, not a next door neighbor, but she lives about 14, 15 miles from me. Some of you have been here live, and she's come by to drop stuff off for me. So, what she does is, uh, it, I was actually on live one Saturday, and she came up in the parking lot. So, she had something for me, and what I do is hit the remote on the Jeep and unlock it. That's really I don't drive very much. So I use that for my garage. I don't have a garage. And she put it in there. Then I went down to get it later on. But Yankee Sister participated in a former challenge that I had, Paint Rocks 2023. If you guys haven't been to her channel or done a pop up, hello, Robin Murphy. Thank you for coming and welcome. And her her grandchildren painted rocks today. And Yankee sister is a widow. She's also ex-military, she and her husband. And they made a memorial garden for Pop Pop. Pop Pop was her husband's name, and they never met their grandfather, but they made painted rocks and so pretty. But I don't want to tell the story. You have to go see it. Yankee sister, because the kids are on it, the comments are turned off. And you see Yankee sister's name is in green. That's because she's a member. I have like 4 members in my membership club now. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks all of you for the time and the love you spend on me. So I'm going to show this down to show how you would start a quilt, a collage, like even Miss Mignon. Has everybody in here seen Miss Mignon? If there's anybody in here who has not seen Miss Mignon, the art quilt that I made, it's a portrait quilt. If anybody has not seen it, put a 1 in the chat and I'll get it. She's still over there on the sofa. 6:51. Dust is back. Oh no. So I'm going to put these pieces. I've already ironed stabilizer to most of these, but and I'll show you guys. See this? Remember I was working on it Thursday? This is a small crafting ironing board that's just small enough for postcards, tiny things that I can heat and bond right here in this work area without getting up. And it has a piece of some type of a little board, particle board. It was in a kit that Joanne Stevens gave me. And then I wrapped 2 layers of batting around it on each side. And then I just stitched around it. And on 2 sides, I don't know if you can see, that's why I have this brother machine with the decorative stitches, just because I can do different stitches. On this side, it has hearts in white. And I was just practicing stitches and trying to keep it still see if the camera can pick it up. I don't know if you can see the hearts, but anyway, they're there. Hello, the jewelry spot. I've been catching you on my TV, and I haven't been able to get back. Hello, Roxanne Sexton. Thank you, first timer. Yay! Thank you for coming and welcome. Hope you'll come back again. So what we're doing is setting up to make an art quilt called a crazy quilt. So I'm going to put an underlayment under it, and I've pre-cut it. It's about 18 inches wide by about 22 inches long. So I'm putting it down where you guys can see it. And how you find the middle of anything, if you're making a tote, a handbag, anything like that, you fold it in half, and then you make a mark. So I made a little mark here, and I'm going to make a little mark at the bottom. My hand's in the way. And I'm going to make a mark the other way, like crosshairs, if you're at the range or something, just so that you know where the center of your target of your artwork is going to be. I'm not going to center it in the middle of it. Why? Because things in the center are boring. And if nothing else, I am not, Auntie Ellen is not boring. So I can just judge where the center of the fabric is as an artist. And then I've looked at this piece several times to decide how I want to work with it. So I decided I like it this way, and I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to find the center of it. And I'm going to, you won't be able to see that tiny little dot. So what I'm going to do is this piece, I'm going to cut it, but I want to cut it symmetrically. So I'm going to, and because I have a vision impairment, I can't tell when things are straight and when they're not straight. So I measure and make a dot. So I'm going to come down 3 inches over there. So you're like, why is she writing on that fabric? Because this is going to be covered. This is going to be covered. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is draw a line. I don't think I'll use this pen. I'll use one that doesn't have so much dark ink because we're going to cut this. So I'm going, in quilting, most quilting, you make 1/4 inch seams. So I'm going to cut this about a 1/4 inch, whoops, about a 1/4 inch away. I don't know, I might do something different. Sorry guys, it's like in construction you say measure twice and cut once. So this is a one of a kind piece of fabric. I don't want to mess it up by cutting it incorrectly. So this is the line. You see that I put a line here, because there is a type of block called stairhouse steps where you put them evenly going across. But this is going to be a crazy quilt. So we want it to be a little bit different. Now, actually, I'm going to draw another line because I want it to be closer to here. I don't want this brown stuff. This brown stuff is going to be mostly covered up. That is not going to be part of it. So I changed my mind and I'm going to draw a second line. And see, that's like cooking. If you want to change your recipe, change the pattern, it's yours. You do whatever you want. And I know that my hand is in the way, but I'm going to do this quickly and draw a line over here. And I'm going to take the pinking shears and cut this. Okay. So now, actually, I'm designing, I'm seeing where this fits on here. This is a fusible. This is that glue. Actually, it didn't really stick that well. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just leave it on there. And what I'm going to do is cut a strip of this fabric to sew along this side. Then I'm going to cut a strip of this side, this one to fit this size. And on this side, this is actually, I'm going to cut this off and put it. So you see how it's shaping up? And well, this is what I had going on in my mind anyway. And then put this other little piece of hand beaded to fit over here. So I have pre-thumped this out, you guys. Just kidding. Pre-thought it out. Then this one will go on the bottom somehow. And I don't like this here. And this is, I'm just laying out a design in front of you guys because I've kind of already figured out what colors. Then maybe this in one corner and in the other corners. Then we'll start by putting the other things in. So without further ado, oh yeah, like a block like this could fit down here. Actually, I'll put it back so that you can see. What? Where did I just put it? Oh, on the floor, of course. That's where I put it. So this one would be here. But then when I put these in, I don't know if I'm going to put this one in because this one is a little pinkish and I don't really like the pink in with her. Maybe I'll get another piece of shui shui to put down. This was just so pretty, but I don't want it to detract, or maybe this is the problem. Maybe I just need to put something light. What do you think? How many of you like this bottom piece here? Because I have all those other light neutrals. Remember when I said I cut these jelly roll strips? I've got plenty of light fabrics to put on the side of it. But this one definitely doesn't look good next to it. Okay. So, Auntie Bev is saying yes. You do like this down here, Auntie Bev? I thought that it matched this color in here. You can't really see the way the light is on it right now, but these seams on the fabric are going to be turned over and rolled in. And then, like in the corners, little pieces of lace, buttons, other things. Cleaning and curing garlic and listening. Oh, nice, Yankee sister. Nice. So, without further ado, I will cut this shui shui out. And get her attached. So, I'll wave on replay. Chat moves faster than the eye cooking. That's okay. The chat does move faster than the eye, especially when you're doing 2 or 3 things. Auntie Bev was live today, you guys. She was sewing. You can check her live out from earlier today. Okay. So everybody has a life. I can't believe it. And you know what? The days are changing already. I don't know if you guys noticed the and these don't a crazy quilt, they don't have to be symmetrical. These are not going to be matchy matchy necessarily. So what I'm going to do is when you sew on a quilt, you put right sides together. I'm going to put this here. Now maybe I'll put it more because when I flip it up, it will cover more to the side. Oh, I heard something fall. So, you guys, I'm going to find the center of here, put a little fold, just so that I can have the fabric balanced. Then I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to sew right through the stabilizer paper. I can move it later on. Oh, silly rabbit. No, that's right. Let me center it again. Again, measure twice, cut once. Actually, we're sewing once. All right. So, you guys see, I took that black thread out. That black thread was driving me crazy. It turns into invisible thread at night. You like that color? Okay. Push it over here to a 1. And I'm going to back stitch it a few stitches. Maybe one more. And my daughter loves neutral colors. She loves neutral colors. So backspace. Okay. Is everybody eating out of their garden, or does everybody have a garden? How many of you have a garden? Can you put 2 in the chat? Diversity Love likes this color. For those of you who wanted African fabrics, if you Google it, there's a place in New York City called H like Henry, K like King, N like Nelly. And they sell a lot of wholesale fabrics. Like you can buy 6-yard pieces. Diversity Love, one of them. So I'm going to finger press this just for right now. Because I'm trying to decide how I'm going to put this next piece up. Okay, so let me just measure this and see. So this strip is like 5.5 inches. So I'll make a strip over here about the same. Actually, I'm going to cut it across going this way. Because I make a lot of 5-inch blocks. Just a minute, you guys. My clear ruler fell somewhere. I will be right back, and I'm plugging the iron in. Because when you're quilting, especially when you're doing quilts like our quilts, you want to make sure that the seams are straight. All right, so now I'm getting another ruler because I don't see the clear one where it fell. And we will cut this one. Can you see it? Yeah. When you're cutting with a ruler, I'm going to move that. We don't want to cut our power cord, do we, to the MacBook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is black line. And we're going to cut this. And these rulers, for any of you who want to buy rulers, these are good for when you're cutting on dark fabric. This yellow makes it easier to see, and it has a little hole, a little opening in it where you can see the fabric underneath. Okay, so this one is there, and we're going to put right sides together. Actually, we don't need one that big. We will cut it down. And right sides down. and I will pin it. Sorry for my hand. Hey, Uncle Roscoe, how are you doing today? Okay, so I do want these to cross. Okay, so that's going out. Let me get turned around. I have this cushion that I sit on. It's called a gypsy sit-upon, and it keeps your back straight, but it's inflated. It's inflated, and I was not paying attention to it. It's when they had the WIG grow off, and I was doing something with my arrow garden. I sat on this thing the wrong way and bounced my fat behind right off on the floor. Okay. Okay, so what I'm doing is just sewing along the side of the fabric. That piece I just put on there. Honestly, on most of my crazy quilts, I use a lot of really small pieces. These are really big, but they're really big for a reason because it's such nice fabric. I hate to cut when you have nice fabric and it has a nice pattern. You hate to cut it up so that you can't see the pattern. So I want to be able to see what the pattern was on here. Okay. I cut the strings every time, Nikki. You're OCD Ashanti. Oh, African Dreamin'. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know if that's Jay or April, but do you guys know what shui shui fabric is from South Africa? That's these two fabrics I just put on here. So you see, it's almost like a little house the way this is on here. So I'll be right back, you guys, because I want to hit this with the big iron. So that the seams will lie flat. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So now we're going to measure this against the background because what we're going to do is this piece that we're working on, we're going to fit it on this background. That's not straight. Okay. So now these two beaded pieces, I think I'm going to put like this because I want to be able to add embellishments, maybe a dragonfly here, a dragonfly there. But Oh no, I have to put it over more because it will be off if I fold this under and show you guys what I'm talking about. I want to get the whole leaf on, but it's almost off of the fabric. So, and don't worry about these lines. We're going to cover those up, like with lace and other things. So, and sometimes you sew on top, sometimes you sew underneath. And this one, I want to ask you guys a question. And I'll turn it around. I was going to put one right side up and one down, but now that I'm looking, it looks silly. I think I should put them both going up. Even though how many of you think they should both go up? Put a one in the chat if you think they should go up, or wave your hand or something. Both up. That's what I thought too. I like them both up. Both up. Everyone says both up. Okay. You know what they kind of look like? You know those things on the side of the fireplace at the house, those sconces? Kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Except for those who just recently came in, these are hand beaded pieces of fabric. Just look at those little tiny beads on there. I could never bead that tiny. That's amazing. So I'm folding this under because I'm going to put this on top. And I want to make sure that it's not run off the side of the backing. Thanks you guys for voting and giving me your opinion on the side up. Actually, this one's too a little not even. So and I will turn this one down at some point. This whole time I thought that the beaded part was a fluffy yarn. The part next to it is a fluffy yarn, and it's actually real wool. This piece was made in Australia, where they have a lot of sheep. So now I'm going to turn this under so that you can't see it. And I'm going to carefully sew close to the edge. Close to the edge. Yankee's sister was telling me you guys were talking about being close to the edge. So this is why I'm back to my neutral thread. And I'm just edge stitching close to here. Sorry for my hand, you guys, but I have to kind of hold it since I didn't pin it over there. Come forward, darling. Okay. Actually, I want it a little bit closer. I'm being picky. I know. But I want it to look nice. So when you're quilting or sewing and it doesn't fit under the arm, you just roll it under. And I want to keep this part flat. Sorry I'm ignoring you guys. I don't mean to be ignoring you. I'm just trying to keep this going down straight. And you see what I'm doing here, I'm actually top stitching, but you know, some things like you stitch from the back. Sometimes, and in crazy quilting, you stitch from the top because there's no way to get to it underneath. There's no way to get to it underneath. And this nice neutral thread, you can barely see the thread. See? Okay, so now it'll look flat after it's pressed. So this side, I'm going to do the same thing and turn it down a little bit. Uh-oh. Maybe I need to move it up a little so that it covers this seam. Yes. And move it over. Ta-da! So that's there. And this one is here. Okay. So actually, I think I'll start from the corner like I did before. Put one more pin in, make sure it stays flat. Okay, you guys, here we go. I'm sorry. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna back stitch a little bit because this will be a lot of fabric, and some of them are heavier than they look. Okay. Do you guys like seeing this process? This is how you make a crazy quilt. And you see it coming together right in front of your, uh-oh. Wait a minute. I caught it just in time. I thought that was folded under. When I stuck it under the arm of the machine, it didn't catch the flannel. But when you sew a lot, you get used to the way your machine sounds. You get used to, it's like your kids. If those of you who have brothers or sisters, or they're at a playground or something, you know when you hear your kid's voice. You know when you hear your mom call you. It's like certain things you get used to. You know when something isn't right. Your gut instinct tells you, say, something's wrong. Go check. So I did. Hello, Blue Lotus Vibes. Janita McLean, how are you? So we're making a crazy quilt, and I am sewing some fabric on the sides of a piece I'm putting together. And I didn't catch all the pieces, but it's okay because it is an adhesive that I'm going to iron the back on anyway. I'm just sewing it because it gives it like a sort of depth and thickness, all the different layers. Okay. So let me move this so you can see what this looks like so far. This white stuff is just the backing or the padding for the quilting. This will be turned under and trimmed. So, how's it coming so far? And this is the pièce de résistance. So you guys, I am going to press this and get it ready. And I will end for now because I have to make some adjustments, do some trimming that will take a lot of time. And thank you. Thank you. She said that's pretty. So when we go live on Thursday, I will have it trimmed up and maybe the bottom piece cover up all this white, and then we'll start putting the embellishments on it, the lace, the buttons, the other things. And you guys can vote and tell me what you think of the next steps. Okay, and again, we're making postcards, fabric postcards. I don't have any over here for those who are new. And hey, Hudson, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Lorraine T. I appreciate you guys on this Saturday night. So it is 7:35, and I will end it now. I appreciate all of you. And I hope all of you will participate in making the postcard quilts. You can make them by hand, you can make them by machine, and doing some of these same things that we're doing here. You just flip, sew, put pieces on the front, the sides, the bottom. You can sew it from the back, you can sew it from the top. You can do whatever you want. It's like your recipe. It's your way of making things. Mike, don't forget to email me and tell me how you want me to send your postcard, whether you want it through the mail, stamped, or in an envelope. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share if you like the content. I love you. Do what you love and love what you do. Thank you for coming. And I will be live on Thursday at 4 p.m. And